Hello everyone, Abby here, Purple Cottage Crafts, and welcome back to another video here on my YouTube channel. Couple things right off the jump. I am really hot, so I have to have the fan blowing, so I apologize if that is too loud. It's quieter than the air conditioner, so please forgive me for that. Also, I am holding this with my hands, so I'm going to try my best to keep this as steady as possible. We are temporarily living in a really nice RV motorhome, and so I am not able to use my normal video filming setup for obvious reasons, plus the fact that an RV, you know, they shake with the wind, whatever. So I will do my best to keep this as steady as possible. Also, I'm working with what I have here, so I have like one of those white tablecloths you get from like the Dollar Tree, whatever. I have it laying down on the ground. So when I get ready to lay these quilts out for you, you'll be able to see them. So please ignore any carpet, any decorative rugs you might see in the peripheral. I'm just working with what I got. So now that that's all over, let's get to this. So this is my first official thrifting haul since I moved to Montana. Now technically this is from an online purchase. It was Facebook Marketplace, but it's still thrifting. And I found these gorgeous quilts. This quilt here and this quilt here were listed as together as in one listing. I mean, you could buy one or the other because she had them priced individually. And so we went to go pick these up, my husband and I, and I grabbed this quilt. Obviously, this quilt and this quilt are the ones that I saw in the listing. But then she'd also sent me a message that she had 3 different chenille baby blankets. And so this is the one that I love the most, so I got that one. And then there were a couple other smaller quilt pieces in there as well. So I wanted to share these with you guys, and one, because I'm a lover of vintage, and I love to share with all of you my vintage findings. And then I know that a lot of you also love to see these types of videos. Because you love the old vintage things just as much as I do, whether you cut them apart or you just collect them, and I do both. And then I also have a bag of some other goodies that she had given to me, and I want to share those with you as well. But I just kind of want to give you an overview of the main things I actually purchased, and then I'll be back to show you each of the quilts individually, but they're going to be laid out on the floor like I said, so I'll be right back. Okay, so here is the first quilt, and I don't have enough space just because we have a table and some other things in here to lay this out completely flat, but I hope you guys can kind of get the idea, pardon my toes, of the size of this quilt and kind of what I'm looking at. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in, because I'm afraid if I try to go pick it up and show you as I normally would, I will make you guys sick from doing so. And look at that. I love this. I love this. The tattier, the rattier, the better for me. I love it. So this one, I did purchase this one to be a cutter quilt. And now, before some of you gasp and like, what? No, huh? I do collect quilts, mostly vintage purple ones for obvious reasons. But I also like to use some, repurpose some into projects where they can be loved in a different format, and that they are being repurposed into different projects and things that people, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so I don't make you sick, you know, will use, whether it be in journals or other fabric projects, or just smaller pieces where people can display them themselves, or even in just little, you know, squares so people can, you know, use them as they would like to do. As they wish, I guess is the better thing to say. So I do not just immediately, just from the jump, just start cutting the stuff up. I don't do that. I think about it for a while. Some quilts I've had for a few years, some for longer than that, and I haven't cut them because I have to wait until I feel the time is right to do so. I know some people aren't attached to things like that, like I am, but that's kind of how I roll. I'm going to show you the back side here. While I'm chatting about this one. And so I like to think about this before and that's true with any type of vintage linen I purchase, whether it's a cutter piece or not. I like to think about it because I want to be mindful of how I'm using these materials. And these are art. These are works of art, and I just want to be respectful to that. And so I'm not just going to start cutting it up, you know, as soon as I'm done filming this video, I am being mindful. I'm going to think about it for a while. I may not even cut these up until Steve and I actually buy our own place and I get another crafting space. So, but anyways, that wasn't my purpose of this one particularly, was to use this as a cutter piece. So it's just gorgeous, as you guys can see. And I'm going to go ahead and get the second quilt out. So I will be back in just a second. Okay, and here is quilt number 2. Now this one is a little bit closer to my heart. I can't explain why. I mean, there's not a lick of purple on here, but that isn't always a factor of when I am attached to a piece. I love the, I'm so embarrassed with all this, I'm so sorry. I love the pastel color, the colorway, and I just love how delicate and kind of shabby chic-y it looks. And you can see here just the yumminess of the worn and tattered edges. I mean, this quilt was very well loved, and it has a story, and I love that about these pieces. And so this one is also going to be a cutter quilt. I'm going to zoom in case you want to look away. I'm trying my best not to make anybody sick. I do apologize. And my thought was, when I was zooming on the pictures and looking at this, that I would use this towards, you know, some shabby chic-y type projects. And I was also thinking to making some, you know, vintage baby books, baby journals, that kind of thing, where, you know, it's already put together and then, you know, the parents can just insert pictures or different things like that. And so I will be working on those type of projects as well, but not anytime soon, because as I mentioned before, you know, not all of my crafting and art supplies are here, so that's a future project down the road. But I just think this is so beautiful. It's just so beautiful, and just think of all the memories of that this quilt is attached to. You know, like who used it, who made it, how old is it? I don't know. And you know, just things like that. That's the back side, and it just, I don't know. So this is more than just getting fabric for me to create with, or to display with, or to collect slash hoard. It's also like living history. Well, it's not living, because the blankets, you know, the quilt's not alive, but it's like history to me. And that is kind of the main reason behind my passion of classic movies and all things old and vintage, you know, items, furniture, whatever it may be, classic, all of that, is I love the history behind it and the stories behind it. And on things like old photographs and whatnot, if I don't know the story of, like, you know, where the photographs came from, or you know, things like that, I like to just kind of make up stories in my head of, like, you know, who the family is, and the cabinet card photos, and, you know, like who used this. Did, like, you know, great grandma Rosie quilt this for baby Abby? I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is obviously too big for a baby quilt, I'm sure, but you know, I'm trying to say, I just like to think of those kinds of things. I have lots of conversations with myself. I probably shouldn't admit that and then put it out on YouTube, but there you go. So, and I know a lot of you feel this way and think this way. I know I'm not unique in this thought process, that is for sure. But I just kind of want to share, you know, my passion, and a little bit of my passion and my love for these types of things. And so I really do treasure all these items, whether they're, like I said, they're purple or not. They just are beautiful to me, and I get attached to stuff like this. I really do. Things mean something to me, and so I'm just really happy to have these in my collection. Eventually this will be cut up as well, but not for several months, probably even close to a year. I don't know, we'll see. You know, like I said, I kind of like to hang on to these things until I feel it's right to cut up part of it or something like that. I do plan on putting some of the quilt pieces and different vintage things into future slow stitch packs that I put together, and I sell them off my YouTube channel and my Etsy shop. This isn't about that, but I just wanted to mention that's another way I use things like this. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get the chenille blanket set up, and I'll be right back. Okay, and here is quilt number 3. This is a chenille, well, blanket, I guess you could say. This is a crib baby chenille blanket, and she had 3 available, different, you know, different styles and motifs, and this is the one that I love the most. And I do collect chenille, sorry guys, I do collect chenille blankets, not necessarily purple. I just think chenille is just gorgeous. I love it. I have little, like, quilt block squares I've collected, and blankets, like full size and all that kind of stuff. And so this one is also going to be used eventually into some different projects and stuff. But for now, it's also going in my hoard vault. I mean, just look at the attention to the detail in here. I think it's just, I just love it. And I loved the florals, and I thought these would just be so sweet on, you know, as I say 1,000 times over, all kinds of different projects, or even to sell in, you know, as in my little, in my different slow stitch kits I'm trying to spit out. Sorry guys, I love facial pain and facial numbness. It's a lovely thing, I could tell you. Not. I love the striping, and then again it's kind of like the grid pattern there. And I'll show you the back side. And yeah, this is just really super pretty. So I am very, very pleased with my items that I've purchased from this lady who's actually an artist, which was really cool to get to meet her and chat with her for a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and get this folded up, and I'm going to lay out the items that she had given to me once I got there. So I just wanted to share those with you as well, because you'll be seeing those in upcoming projects. So I'll see you in just a second. Okay guys, so I have the camera up on the tripod. You guys are upside down to me, so I have to hold anything that's directional like this heart this way so you guys can see. So I hope that this is working out okay. I'm trying to make it as square as I can. Alright, so here are a couple more of the quilt pieces that I wanted to show you and see how really cool this is. So that is pretty awesome. And then we have this square one there. Really, really pretty fabrics. And then there's the back side. This whole bag is are things that she had just given to me, which I thought was very, very sweet. And so she made this scroll type of thing. Like you can make it, you know, like people do these snippet rolls and stuff, so you can read. So very, very cool project that she made. And then here's this bit here, and then here is this bit right here of some braided sari silk. And as I mentioned before, she is an artist, and she makes these like just for fun. She works on these kinds of things just as, like, you know, a soothing meditative type of thing, but she also likes to include children and anybody else who wants to work and make these. So I thought that was really cool to have this piece of art from her that she included. So I love that. I love getting pieces of art. And this, I wish I had yardage of this. I love this. It is so cool. And I definitely cannot wait to do some stitching with this, that's for sure. That's the back side. And then we have a crocheted kind of like heart dangly doily type of a thing. There's that. Oh, here's another piece of art that she made, and she had this pinned to one of the quilts. So I thought that was really, really cool. And I think this is really, really cool material here, or excuse me, a textile trim, whatever you want to call it. It's got some nice thickness to it, and there's quite a bit there. So happy to have that. And then this is, sorry, it's windy, and I can feel the RV kind of moving a little bit. So this is just like your standard doily. I'm going to put it down so you can kind of see it there. And when I say standard, I don't mean just your blah doily. I just mean that that's, you know, what this is, like what we're all used to kind of seeing. And then this one here, this is probably going to be a little bit too big to show all at once in frame, but I'll try my best. And then, so that's generally basically what it looks like as a whole. And then this is the side. So each of the sides look like that. Just really, really pretty. This is a lovely, lovely piece. Okay, I think everything else in here is yardage of fabrics. And so, awesome. So we've got this blue kind of gingham check there. This is a mix of a vintage, and some of it is not. So, and I don't know the yardage, but it doesn't matter to me because it's just fabric, and I can work with the tiniest pieces because I can stitch with those, or, you know, whatever. So very, very pretty blue and kind of yellow flower pattern. Well, not kind of, they are flowers, Abby. Good grief. Let me hold up a couple at a time so I don't have to make this 5 hours long. And then that really pretty print. Then we have this one. So she went and got some purples from her stash for me, which I thought was awesome. And then there's that print. And there's that one. Okay, we'll grab another stack here. And we have like some yellows coming up. Yellow florals. And you can cut out the different motifs in there and use it for all kinds of different projects. There's that. This one, I love this. I'm really into, well, I have been for a long time, but in the paper world, but in the fabric world, I'm really loving the black fabric with a floral print or a different type of a print on top. I just love it. I think this is very luxurious looking, and I love it. That one, it's really pretty too. Purple flowers in there in the mix. That one too with some purple in it, floral. I love that. It's fun to. There's that one. At least to me, I've never quite had fabric or seen fabric with that pattern on it. Really got your basic stripe, your floral pattern, and another floral pattern. So I hope you all enjoyed my first official thrifting haul from since we moved to Montana, and I definitely will be having more. Don't tell my husband. No, I'm just kidding. I just did all that destashing before I moved, and here I am adding back up again. I didn't get rid of that much stuff. I mean, it probably looked like it to those who watch those videos, and I also did a lot of destashing locally as well, but you know, I have a lot of stuff. That's just how I am. But anyway, so it's fun to find new places to thrift here. I do miss my honey holes back in Oregon, but when I go home to visit, of course, I can you know, go to those locations and do a little bit of shopping to bring back with me. And but it's exciting, and it's going to be fun to find new places to thrift from. And Facebook Marketplace never fails from me. I am a huge lover of Facebook Marketplace. I also like the aspect that they offer shipping now. I prefer to kind of meet up with people and buy locally just because I don't have to pay for shipping. But I also like the option of purchasing things in different states because I wouldn't have, you know, the ability to, you know, travel 5 states over to go buy something for $5. I mean, that's, you know, crazy. So I do like that aspect of it as well. But my favorite type of thrifting is always going to be inside the brick and mortar store. I love the digging through the stuff and visually looking at everything. I just love it so much. But this is another option, especially with you know, the world with the, you know, the pandemic and everything. I know that some thrift stores and different charity shops and whatnot are opening back up, and I know some aren't. It kind of depends on who owns them, and I'm happy about that. But you know, online thrifting was a really big part of my life last year, just due to those reasons. So there are other ways you can do it. If you aren't able to get out of your house, you can just shop online, and if you like to do it that way. Anyway, just wanted to share this with you guys, and you will definitely be seeing these materials and fabrics and quilts and whatnot coming up in projects, upcoming projects, months down the road, maybe a year or two down the road. I don't know. Just kind of depends on when I get the bug to incorporate them into something I'm working on. So, all right, you guys, I will see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. And if you happen to live in the Butte, Montana area-ish, even like Helena, I almost said Helena, there's a couple other towns, I can't remember the names because I'm new here. Dillon, I think, is another one. I can't remember all of them, I'm so bad. But if you happen to be living in those areas, or you know of some really cool thrifting places, you know, whether it be at like a thrift shop proper, or you know, kind of like one of those malls that have like different booths inside where they sell, like, you know, used items and stuff. I would love it if you would love to share that with me, either in the comment section below, or you can send it to me in an email at purplecottagecrafts@gmail.com, because I'm looking for new places to thrift around here. So, all right, you guys, I'll see you next time. Thanks so much. Bye.